Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm reviewing Wonder Woman 84. Just premiered yesterday on HBO Max and theaters nationwide. This is the sequel, obviously, to the Wonder Woman movie of 2017. Also starring Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, aka Diana Prince. This one, This one is a much longer movie than the first one. This one is about 2.5 hours. And at times you do feel like it. I mean, this in this movie they do stuff a lot of story into this one. They go back it being into their childhood, and then after that they go throughout the story and for what transpires. Now this is gonna be a non-spoiler review, so I don't want to get too much into all the things that happen, all the plot devices. But basically, as I've seen in the trailers, Steve Trevor does come back. It's Chris Pine's character. And so she has to deal with that as she's trying to, basically uncover the plots of the main villains in this movie. First one played by is Maxwell Lord, played by Pedro Pascal. He does a really good job as a kind of egomaniacal businessman who's has all these things he wants to accomplish, but he's had no success in his life, and so as getting to a point where he's about to have financial ruin, and so now he's like desperate to be successful, and especially for his son, who his little son has no faith in him, so he's very motivated to get successful. And then also we have Krista Wiig, who plays her name is Barbara, but then becomes Cheetah, one of women's more famous villains. I mean this is a very enjoyable movie. They've it I mean, it is a fun sequel, but in a way, it's a very typical sequel. So in a way, it's kind of very much very different from the original movie. Whereas the first movie set during World War One, 1918, it seemed like it was very focused. It was focused on the war, her like experiencing the man's world for the first time, and her discovering the horrors of war and trying to stop what was happening and start to stop Ares. This movie seemed like it was very, as I say, overstuffed with a lot of different plots of what's going on. They're chasing this item around kind of really around the globe, and trying to stop all the different plots. And unfortunately, since there's so much going on, a lot of characters get sidelined, especially Kristen Wiig's Cheetah. I wish I'd seen more of her. At some point, she kind of seemed kind of just as device to take on Wonder Woman, whereas she didn't really get to really develop more than that and see her ambitions. So as for I mean, it's a good film. It was very enjoyable, but like I said, it does lag at times because there's just so much going on in this film, and also times at points where she's doing like a lot of her heroic stuff. Now the CG does look good, really good at points. There are points where she's up there, but you'll notice at points where it looks like she's kind of flying, where the CG doesn't look that great, so it does take you out of the movie a little bit. And there's definitely some kind of moral questions in there, especially the method by which Steve Trevor comes back to life. Not, I would say not the method, but how he's back to life. How they explain that, and then how she, because then she ends up having renewing her relationship with him, and so that brings up a moral question like, what's going on here? It was, I mean, if that had been gender switch, that would not have been okay, I think, with most audiences. So that definitely, this definitely parts of this story that you really have to question. So overall, I thought the acting was still really good. All the three main actors all did a really good job with their characters, their stories. You really care about other characters and where they end up by the end of the film. But I say my big critique of this, it does feel like a typical comic book action story sequel, whereas they stuff so many characters, so much plot into the movie, so much story that's going in all different directions that by the end of the movie you're like, what's going on here? Like a lot of stuff doesn't seem to have really get resolved. There's it just feels very overstuffed, and by the other points, like what we say, we're dragged, and you in this movie you really feel that 2.5 hours, whereas in the first movie it was shorter, it felt more focused. So by the time the movie ended, you were like, wow, that was a great film that really had a point to it. And the action seemed like the scene where she was in the no man's land. Yeah, you don't have anything similar to that in here. They try to duplicate it, but this movie kind of just drags more, and it does feel longer. But overall, I did enjoy the movie. It's not a bad movie. I say if you have HBO Max, if you're able to go, if you have a theater by you that's open, definitely go out and see it. Like all the theaters near me are closed, so I had to watch on HBO Max. But I do recommend that if you have the free time, it is a fun movie. And if you like the first movie, then definitely check this one out. It definitely has its high points, and like I said, the the actors do a great job. It's just I wish they trimmed some of that story down and made it more of a tighter fit film, because it definitely does drag at points. And by the time that the movie ends, it does it does feel really long. Oh, and do stay for there's a big credit scene that's pretty cool. That's I really enjoyed. So once again, that's my review of Wonder Woman 1984. What did you guys think of it? If you saw it, leave a comment below. And once again, thank you so much for subscribing, and like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much.